Figure out how to put a deal together when everyone else says there's no deal there. Figure out how to pay full price for an asset and still make it valuable to someone else so you can assign that contract. Ty, if let's just say it's a median price in your market's $150,000, and I bring you a house at retail price, $150,000, zero money down, 30-year amortization with a 5-year balloon, and it's vacant, are you taking that deal?
Yeah.
You'd be a fool not to. That's what you call a free house, right?
Yeah, nothing down. So if you want to hear more great knowledge like that and how you can win big in this quote unquote market crash of 2020, well, guess what? Stand by. Let's get it.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Hello guys, this is Ty, aka the Flip Man, and today I have Jim and Chad back from All the Leads, the probate experts, but more importantly, they are real estate investor experts, I guess you want to say. Chad is in Virginia and Jim is in Florida. How's it going, guys?
Doing great, Ty. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, doing well.
Well, wanted to bring the guys back on. They reached out to me, and I'm trying to get as much information out there of people that are out here grinding every day, dealing with a lot of different people from all over the country in different markets. Because one thing that may be happening in your market that may be different in another. So it's good to get opinions from people that are out here dealing with a lot of investors on different levels. So. Again, I want to bring the guys on here so they can share some of their thoughts. And so just to start, guys, and Chad and I did a previous video on probates. You can go back and search that. It's just put in probates and Flip Man, and that video should pop up. The date of this video has over 30,000 views on it. So a lot of people have taken advantage of that knowledge. It's a really good video. So I'm sure this will be also. So just to start, guys, how's it going? Just give us an idea of what you've been dealing with as far as the climate right now. What are some of the concerns out there? What's real? What's not? Just to go. And when I say the climate, because people see this video 2 years from now, this is during the COVID coronavirus fiasco, right in the middle of it. So we're just trying to get some ideas on, how you can continue to pursue your real estate investing opportunities in your market and beyond. So, guys, if you could just start by, number one, telling us who you are, and then we'll get into some of the things that are happening right now.
Sure. I'll go first if it's okay. I'm Jim Sullivan. I'm in Southern Florida. I've been a investor for about 45 years. I was telling Ty, I've ridden the real estate roller coaster several times, through the ups and downs. Chad and I got together and we started a probate lead company about 7 years ago. And after Ty's show, we had a lot of you contact us. It's a very unique lead source that not very many investors work. You're reaching out to someone who's usually not local. They just inherited property and they're usually really motivated to sell it. And really, Ty, what prompted me to call you again was just recently a lot of the people that heard us a year or so ago have been contacting me. And I had a guy the other day that said, I specialize in pre-foreclosures and I was just starting to do well. And now all of a sudden nothing's being foreclosed. So, what do I do? And the nice thing about probate as a niche, usually the houses are empty. So there isn't an issue with getting access to them, both for the investor and for finding your end buyer. And the motivation level is usually pretty high. It's found money for the people that inherited the property. And we kind of have a complete system. We give you names, addresses, phone numbers, letters, coaching, training, kind of walk you through the whole process, how to contact these people, how to engage with them, and, and how to help them get rid of property that they really don't want. So, and what's kind of interesting is so far that this niche has not really been affected like most of the others, because like I said, the property is vacant. It's easy to show. the probate process still has to go through. The people still have to complete it. So it's really a more of an enhanced opportunity, I think, than it was when we spoke a year or so ago. Anything you want to add, Chad?
So my name is Chad Corbett. I have barely left my desk in the last 4 weeks. Ty, you asked about the environment. I mean, all the leads is our primary focus is helping investors and realtors who are serving families in probate. However, we obviously have a very broad skill set and a lot of experience. So we started a series called Shift Happens 3 weeks ago, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we go live. And I've found that I'm spending a lot of time teaching people how to keep deals together, mainly using creative financing with hard money lenders stepping away from the table, and not funding deals, jumbo loans drying up. So I've been doing a lot of coaching and education and content. And Ty, I don't know if you mind sharing. I mean, if you want to link to our YouTube channel, there's a series called Shift Happens. We have 7 episodes. I just finished one today. Last Friday we went over all of the personal and business benefits that came down to you as part of the CARES Act. And today we dug in a little more specifically, and I showed people as far as the Paycheck Protection Program and the EIDL grants, exactly what that looks like, exactly how to apply, and some tips and tricks. So I've been spending a ton of time just trying to prepare people to, instead of shutting down. I think, I tell everybody, you've got a choice to make in this environment. We're coming into a new economy. It's not a buyer's market. It's not a seller's market. It's a professional's market. And if you can be more professional, think outside of the box, think creatively, then when other people are sitting there saying, oh, no, nothing's happening in my market, then you can be putting deals together and you can move forward and lead from the front. So I've been working. Last week alone, I was recorded like this 27 hours straight. I'm just giving everything I can give to try to help people understand, just because a deal fell apart one way doesn't mean there's not 15 other ways to put it together and keep the market moving forward. And the more people that can do that, then the less of a correction we have to go through, and the less time you have to sit with an empty pipeline. So that's what I've been doing. It's been a really interesting month. I've spent more time. I haven't been home this long in like 4 years, but so that's what we've been doing. We've been just trying to get as much value out as we can to everybody. And just like Jim said, I mean, we always believe we built a recession-proof business, but our business is actually growing. We're not worried about laying people off. We're worried about paying overtime. And we're very grateful for that. And, it's a space that we chose. We thought probate was, if of all things that we could have done in the real estate space, probate is the one where you have the least competition. And it's the easiest to compete in with the people who you are competing with, because of the approach we teach. And regardless of what's happening in the market or happening in health or anything else, it's pretty much an insulated lead source and niche. So we've been very grateful to be able to have the opportunity to step up and provide value to everybody. And that's what we've been focused on. So that's why we're here today.
Just a general question for those that are maybe just getting started in real estate, or were right there about putting a deal together. I know your main focus is on probate, but you're knowledgeable on a lot of things. You speak to all types of investors, doing all types of deals. If someone was just starting out, they've been doing a little research and studying, or whatever, where would you see is the most opportunity right now for a brand new real estate investor?
Your biggest opportunity right now is to connect yourself with as many cash buyers as you can. And I don't mean wholesalers. I mean guys with cash, your end buyers. And you need to understand, are they a landlord? Are they a flipper? What is their strategy? How do they value real estate? What does a deal look like to them? Are they portfolio buyers? Are they long-term buy and hold? Are they looking for turnkey portfolios? Find out where the cash is and what it's attracted to, because most of the smart money right now is sitting on the sidelines, not not wanting to move. The guys are keeping dry powder and they're not making moves because who knows how long it is before we can evict. However, there's always somebody there. There's a guy with a 1031. There's someone who just, their money's burning a hole in their pocket. They just know that the market's not going to correct and they're ready to go in. So you need to go find those guys first. It's, you can go get every house in town under contract, but if you don't know who the buyers are, you don't really have a way to monetize that, do you? Unless you're closing and holding yourself. The other opportunity, especially if you're getting into these yourself and you're closing, is use creative financing. So session, I don't even know, one of the shift happens sessions, I've got 2 hours of training on this specifically, how to keep pending deals together using creative financing and how to put new deals together. So if you don't know how to do subject to, lease option, wraparound, carry a first mortgage, if you don't know about contract for deeds, like if you don't know what those things are, you need to go to Bigger Pockets, go to YouTube, listen to Ty's stuff, figure out how to put a deal together when everyone else says there's no deal there. Figure out how to pay full price for an asset and still make it valuable to someone else so you can assign that contract. Ty, if let's just say it's a median price in your market's $150,000, and I bring you a house at retail price, $150,000, zero money down, 30-year amortization with a 5-year balloon, and it's vacant, are you taking that deal?
Yeah.
You'd be a fool not to. That's what you call a free house, right?
Yeah, nothing down.
So, so many people go with this 70% minus repairs and hit low and hope for the best. It's a numbers game. That shit's not working right now.
Yeah.
Like, you got to use your brain. So you go out there and you negotiate with a motivated seller who's tired, like pulled their house off of MLS. You've got all kinds of expired listings, expired, withdrawn. Like, go pull an MLS list, go to those sellers who are feeling the pressure because they lost their job. They took a 35% hit and say, listen, you can catch a falling knife. You can sell your house at full price, today's value. However, there's price and there's terms. Pick one. So if you want out of this house, I can show you how to do it. Even if you have debt, I can do subject to, I can do a wrap. If you own it free and clear, we've got all kinds of options. But I can show you how to get immediate relief from your problem. And then I can take my contract over here to one of these cash buyers, or they don't even need cash. They just need to have enough cash to pay me my spread. And then I can go sell that paper because he didn't have the creativity to go find that deal, or he didn't have the skill set or the time. So you can create transactions in this environment out of thin air. And while other wholesalers are sitting, playing on Facebook groups, talking about how they can't get any of their offers accepted or this or that, step up. Like, go find out, like, what are the seller's problems? What solution can you use to solve their problem, and who can you sell that to? And you can create a ton of cash in your business wholesaling creative finance deals like that right now.
Chad, if I could add to that, a kind of a more general answer, and it's a self-serving answer because it's what we do, but probate is a good place for newbies to start because there is so little competition. You're reaching out to somebody who just inherited property they didn't plan on owning. You're probably going to be the only one talking to them, so there isn't much competition. And Chad, you might want to touch on whether it's probate or whatever type of lead source they're working. The institutional buyers are gone now, right? They pretty much dropped off the map. OfferPad and Zillow, and so not only is probate, it's a wide open market in a normal market, in a normal situation, but now the institutional buyers in all the lead types are pretty much gone. So your competition is going to be that much lower. Like Chad said, if you can get the funds, if you've got a hard money lender, if you've got a source of money, never been a better time to go out, and you're going to have a lot less competition than you had a few months ago. You want to touch on that?
Yeah, before you touch on that, because a lot of people might not know what you mean when you're talking about OfferPad and Zillow and I guess Open Door, those outfits, because they had gotten into buying actual properties or whatever, and I guess turn around and flip them around or whatever. So if you could explain what they were doing for, because some people don't know what you're referring to when you say that.
Yeah, I think we owe the credit to Brad Inman who deemed them the iBuyers. And basically what the iBuyers are, Zillow started this party, and they took a bunch of venture capital and what came into the single family home space with basically the car dealership model. So when you want a new Mercedes, you don't have to sell yours on the private market first. You drive to the dealership makes you a low offer, you trade it in, you drive off on a brand new one in a matter of an hour, 2 hours, right? So they basically took that car dealership model and brought that into single family homes. So instead of taking months to sell a home and struggling through rehabbing it and getting this and that, they can basically, some of them will allow you to basically just trade your house in. Others will just make you a quick offer that's full of bullshit fees. They'll tell you they're paying you 90 cents on the dollar, and they're really not. They're chiseling you down to like 50 cents on the dollar. But they've created a lot of attention in the marketplace, both in brokerage and investment. And they're hard to compete with for most investors because they are throwing around 80, 90 cents on the dollar offers. However, if you know, if you understand their business model, if you can look at their fee structure, and you can, it's not that hard to compete with them. We have one of our subscribers is in Fort Worth, Texas, and he's on track to do over 100 probate transactions in his first calendar year for over $1 million in revenue. 60% of his business was from wholesaling, from acquisitions. 40% was from listing. So in that market, 60% of his deals were wholesales. In that market, there are 8,000 real estate investors, 21,000 realtors, and every iBuyer that's on the block, all of them. And he was still buying on average at 55 cents on the dollar, competing with the iBuyers. So even if they were in the marketplace, if you're skilled, like if you're educated and you know how your competition's model works, they're not that hard to sell against. They're not that hard to negotiate against, because they are using what is perceived by the homeowner as pretty deceptive practices. When you look at the final settlement statement and realize that 90 cents on the dollar was not net of all these other fees that they're going to add in there. So understand how the iBuyers model works, and you can easily compete with them. But and did I cover everything?
Most of them are not even doing business. They've announced that.
Oh yeah, so they pulled out. I mean, and the reason they pulled out, guys, these guys are running like they had raised over $10 billion in venture capital and institutional debt, which is unreal because they're all running in the red. They all lose money. So their model is built for a rising market until they can. I think it's going to force them to innovate, or they're going to be done. But I mean, these are, not unlike most of the tech companies. Like this stock market wasn't real. We've been running on like 50 and 100x valuations for companies that have never made $1. Their net operating income is zero. And that's the kind of people you were competing with. They weren't making money to begin with. So they just ran for the hills and laid their people off. And that makes them even easier to sell against. Mr. Seller, those billboards are still up, but those guys went back to San Francisco when the shit hit the fan, didn't they? And we're right here in the community, and we're going to do what we promise. So we'll make you an offer. We can offer you full price and do it on terms, or we can discount the price just like they would have. But what you need to know is I'm right here, and I have a local reputation to protect, and that's important to me. Here's the blue pen.
Well, okay. Great explanation and where to start. Just to dive a little deeper in that. And like you said, you want to be able to offer solutions that no one else is offering. Where would you, if assuming someone is low on as far as a marketing budget to generate leads or whatever, where would you start to try to find those potential deals that if you can't get it at the, quote unquote, wholesaler's price, but you can offer owner financing opportunities? Like I know you mentioned expired listings, I guess tired landlord properties that are for rent or whatever. But where would you focus, or you would say, hey, if you focus on this type of property that's being marketed or not marketed, you could probably pick up some deals really quick. If nothing else, set up some very attractive terms and turn them over to investors that would love to basically get a house for free or very little money after paying you your a fee or assignment fee for, turning the deal or those terms over to them.
Sure. So a few places, I mean, FSBO expired. There's obviously an indication of some motivation, right? And there's also information. You can probably see their price expectation in the listing. So even if it's still not listed, you can look at MLS history and see what their price history is and see where they're at. and you can go after those because you know they were at least thinking of selling and moving. Some other ideas. I mean, it's one of the things about every recession, but this one especially, divorce skyrockets during every recession. And not only are we in a recession, debatably a depression, we don't know until we put the economy back online. People are trapped at home. This is like week 4 for a lot of couples. And, if they had, even if it wasn't a great relationship, but they were civil, maybe now they're not. And they are just tired of each other, but they don't have a whole lot of options, right? So as far as free, and I'm trying to focus on free lead sources. That's what I think you were getting at, right? So the low budget, no budget.
Yeah.
So you should know every divorce attorney in town, and they should know exactly how well capitalized you are, or how creative you are, or how many buyers. Like, by well capitalized, I mean how many cash buyers you're basically controlling in your marketplace, how many you're hunting assets for, or they need to know that you have the creative solutions. My door is being knocked down by a Harvard, Berkeley educated attorney who trains divorce attorneys how to provide a higher level of service, because they even though they're attorneys, they don't have that skill set. They don't know how to look a husband and wife in the eye and say, okay, here's how you put a lease option together. We're going to do a wrap mortgage and get you guys moved out, get you a down payment today so you can go over here and you can quit fighting. You don't want to do this in front of the kids. The attorneys want to do that, but they don't necessarily have the skill set. So if you understand creative financing and you can provide real value by knowing how to put a deal together, even in this environment, even in a divorce, how valuable are you to that divorce attorney when everyone else is coming in with their handout saying, hey, give me all your good leads. Give me the Glengarry leads, man. Like, let me get some more of those cash deals. But you're coming in saying, give me the hard ones. Give me the ones that you don't know what to do with, and watch me make lemonade out of those lemons. So you've got FSBO, expired, for sale by owner, expired listings, divorce is another one. If you talk to business owners, if you have a way to talk to the business brokers, SBA representatives, bankers, anyone who knows business owners who are struggling, who are just trying to liquidate assets to gain cash to keep their business alive. This is like what I'm saying here, guys. There's really 2 options. There's marketing and there's building a referral network. So marketing, you got FSBO, expired, probate. Those are my best options. The other, like building a referral network, you should focus on the SBA reps, the community bank loan officers and business banking officers. If you happen to know somebody at the unemployment office, anyone who's struggling, like if you can get an early indication of that struggle and just get them to call you, that's what you want. Divorce attorneys is another. So go out, meet these attorneys. And the thing is, there's a lot of stuff. If you go to alltheleads.com, in the top right, there's a search bar, type in attorney. And before you try to approach a divorce attorney, make sure you listen to some of my advice, because if you go in unprepared and you're not providing real value, you'll get your ass chewed up and spit out in a hurry. But if you go in using a different approach, like what we teach, they've never been approached that way, and they will immediately bond with you, and you'll be like their referral stream. So those are some ideas like on how you can do this free. Like if you didn't have $1 and you couldn't leave your office, you can still do everything that I just said.
Chad, another one obviously that we teach again at alltheleads.com is probate attorneys. You can walk into a probate attorney's office, and their attorney might be doing multiple deals every month, and some of these people really need to sell the property. He probably doesn't get paid until the estate's settled, so it's in his best interest to get the property sold. He's usually pretty motivated to work with a good investor. So walk in and have that conversation, and we'll teach you how to do that. Like Chad said, just go to alltheleads.com, and there's all kinds of training there.
There's an idea I just had, and there's this whole culture popping up, thankfully not everywhere, but there's a culture of rent strike, like don't pay your rent, like screw the man, right? And one of the tired landlord indicators, a lot of times we'll look for, trash in the front yard, or, a broken down car with no plates on it and the grass growing up. Like there's things that'll show us where landlords have kind of gone sideways and put their head in the sand. But another one of those indicators that I haven't heard anybody talk about, like there are people putting up signs, like they'll put signs in their yard, or they're putting posters up on multifamily assets. If you can identify the landlords that have unfortunately fallen victim to that culture, that aren't getting rent and everyone's on the same page. So how tired is he? How would he like to be the one, not be the one responsible for that damn mess? And who knows how long it's going to be. So be talking to that guy, because if he has equity, he might be willing to just say, you know what, dude, I'm gonna sell it to you on terms. I'll sell it to you contract for deed. Good luck. And you can go in with more energy and a fresh mind and clean up his mess. So if you anywhere you can find tired landlords, now is probably a great time to get them out.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up tired landlords, and you touched on a few things there, because and I guess it's going to be market specific as far as potential evictions going up. Maybe not this month, a month of what are we in, April? Maybe not even May, but in June, it's time to dollar up. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be enough is enough. But again, it's going to be market specific, because some of these situations, as far as coronavirus or whatever, are behind others or whatever. So, but I don't think it's going to be as nearly as bad as they said it was going to be. So, so as far as I'm not sure what, depending on your market, on how you can get access to those type of lists at the courthouse or whatever, as far as them filing evictions, because you're going to have to, like in most cases, you're going to have to put people out physically, or go through the legal process to actually evict people out of their property or whatever. The tired landlord is probably going to be the biggest, the largest group, as normal, from my experience, of people ready to move a property that are motivated. And that 1 month or 2 months without getting paid, they were already cutting it close. Maybe because of that particular property or another property that was dragging down their other properties, as far as their capital and resources. So most definitely. Guys, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to elaborate. I just thought of something else, Ty, that I talked about on one of our calls last week. Just because you have a moratorium on eviction, like if you can't evict right now, that doesn't mean you can't get people to move out of houses. So if you find one of these tired landlords who's willing to discount his equity and sell to you, there's nothing stopping you from knocking on the door. And just like cash for keys, when someone with a homeowner, if you go up and offer to bring a moving truck and move them, like who's to say that they wouldn't go back to their mom and dad's house, because now they're unemployed. They don't have daycare money. They're stuck at home with their young kid. And honest to God, they just wish they could be in mom and dad's basement, but they have several obligations. So if you can be a solutions engineer and focus on the people, the tenant, don't just focus on the landlord situation. Consider the tenant as a variable too. So what happens if you go to the landlord, he's tired, he's ready to walk away. He's like, just give me 50 grand and I'm out, dude. And then you go knock on the door and be like, listen, I'm going to give you $1,000 if you're out by Saturday. Here's $250 to get started in good faith, and then go sign a contract with a good contingency or a good cancellation clause. And if they're out on Saturday, then close on that damn thing and move forward. And you can go fully furnish it, rent it, go to travelingnurses.com, plow the thing full of furniture, go to Aaron's and rent the furniture, go to court and rent the furniture, rent it as a fully furnished unit, reduce your market rent, but take a 6-month prepaid at a minimum. Nobody moves in unless they've paid 6 months of rent up front. And you can create, even in this environment, even when landlords say, oh, don't do anything, like you don't want to do that, things like that. So think outside of the box. You can always make a deal if you have motivated parties and intelligence.
Oh, boom. I love that, man. I love that, because I've done a couple of those, and I did it out of not just, I don't know, no one ever told me, but I've paid a couple of people to leave before, to make a deal to make the deal work. And I've never been that heavy in the rental business or whatever for a number of reasons, but I've always like just pay them to leave. You know what I'm saying? That won't always be the situation, but you can offer it because a lot of times it's going to cost you more to allow them to ride it out, possibly tearing up your property even more than what they've already done, which will cost you more. So that would almost just like be an option just off the top. I'll pay you to leave or whatever. And as you as an investor, as you said, a solution engineer, I really like that term. A lot of times that's going to solve the problem for the person that you're trying to buy the property from, and then obviously solving your property by having a vacant property that you can take advantage of, because I'm assuming you've gotten an attractive deal that works for you or whatever. So, wow, that's some really good information, man. Jim, you got anything you want to add, man?
No, I just want to thank you for the opportunity, Ty. And I would tell everybody out there, our company motto is provide value first. We try to provide value for people that have inherited property, and we feel the same way about your clients, realtors, investors. You guys have any questions, concerns, you need any advice, you want to talk about getting started with probate leads, just give us a call. My direct line, our sales direct line, is it okay if I give it out, Ty?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go to alltheleads.com or give us a call at 954-400-3500.
Actually, Ty, you have what's your domain, Ty? What's your website?
Flipprobates.com. It'll be in the description of this particular video. And there, if you go back and watch the previous video, you see the thumbnail in the background here. If you did a search for, again, Probates and Flip Man, you'll see that video that Chad and I did back on April 1st of 2019. We just looked it up. That's where you can access all of their services through my link, flipprobates.com. But Jim just gave the number out also too. That's fine.
If you call directly, make sure you mention Ty, and we'll give you a great startup discount if you mention you saw us on the show.
Good. But yeah, guys, man, I guess we really need to do more of this. I think, Chad, you reached out to me, or one of your assistants reached out a couple of months back, and like a lot of things, if I don't act on it right then, I'll forget about it. So, Jim, I'm really glad you called me. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday?
It was just 2 days ago, and here we are. Didn't take you long.
Yeah, I called him back, and I'm glad we put this together because, man, I've learned a lot in this 40 minutes of watching this right now. So, guys, man, definitely take advantage of all the content that Jim and Chad are putting out there. Just some really valuable stuff. They go beyond just probate. Their knowledge is unmatched. And then just a situational engineer. I love that. And so a solutions engineer. That's what you said, right? Solutions engineer.
Yep.
Okay. Boom.
I have solutions engineering and transaction engineering. Both are needed necessary skill sets.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So guys, I really appreciate you all sharing your time with us again. And if you want to access the probate information, flipprobates.com. Jim gave out the phone number just a moment ago, and also their YouTube channel is All the Leads. So you just do a search for All the Leads, and I just looked at, they have over 400 videos there on their channel, and he has the new series going on. It's called Shift.
Happens.
Shift.
You
got that from Forrest Gump, I guess. But
sometimes.
But guys, the point of this entire video is that money is still being made. As I've said to many is that have reached out to me, I said, will houses become free in this environment? No. Or real estate become free? No. So as long as it's not free, transactions are going to occur. You just need to adjust with what's going on, because most people are run from the hills saying there are no deals out there, and you could be one of the ones that's shining. The opportunities are still there. And as a matter of fact, I saw this on a movie years ago. I'm not sure which one. When blood is on the street, I guess coronavirus is blood, buy real estate or whatever. It's because normally it's going to be discounted. So that's my 2 cents.
Well,
And the other saying is, when the tide goes out, you find out who's been swimming naked. So, yeah, the iBuyers were swimming naked and they got their asses exposed. And this is going to be a shakeout. Like I said earlier, you got to make a decision. Are you going to roll up and quit, or are you going to persevere? And if you're going to persevere, then make your damn commitment right now and step up. If anything on this call went over your head today, that's your education plan for the next week. Go learn that. Go learn to be a transaction engineer, a solutions engineer.
That's what's up. All righty, guys. I really appreciate you all sharing your time with us and your valuable knowledge. And as I always say, we'll see you on the flip side.
See you, Flip.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that.